You suck. You are no good. This is not going to be successful at all. Who do you think you are? You should just quit now. Wow, those are some pretty nasty judgmental voices. And you know what? They all live right up in here. And today in this video, I want to talk to you about saboteurs, our internal judge, and what we can do to be a little more conscious of them so that they don't continue to hold us back. One of my favorite authors and researchers is Brené Brown, and she always talks about leading with vulnerability. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to you about my personal vulnerabilities and my personal saboteurs. And I'm going to do that with the help of a quiz. I want you to go to positiveintelligence.com. Positive Intelligence is a brainchild of Shirzad Chamine. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. But what I love about him is that he is also a coactive coach, which is what I'm trying to get certified in. No, that I am not trying. I am getting certified in. See, language matters. It really does. Okay, so what Shirzad has done here is he's taken all those little voices and given them names or descriptors. In his research, he was able to put together 9 different saboteurs. He's not the only researcher that's done this, but what I love about it is that it's just so concise. So go ahead, pause this video, go take this quiz, and I will see you right after I'm done taking this quiz. Okay, so let's take a look. I am gonna look at my scores, and this is not my first time doing this test. And that's kind of fun, right? Because then I can like take a look at how I might have changed over time or how it's maybe just remained the same. So it scores like 0 to 10, and my most prominent saboteur is the hyperachiever. Then it goes to controller, restless, hyper-rational, pleaser, victim, stickler, hyper-vigilant, avoider. So not an avoider. Let's explore, let's learn more. So dependent on constant performance and achievement for self-respect and self-validation. Highly focused on external success, yes, leading to unsustainable workaholic tendencies and a loss of touch with deeper emotional and relationship needs. Guilty. I had a friend reach out to me this morning and was like, do you want to go do a fitness class with us? And I was like, no, I need to make a YouTube video. Characteristics: competitive, image and status conscious, good at covering up insecurities and showing positive image. Adapt personality to fit what would be most impressive to other, goal-oriented and workaholic streak. More into perfecting public image than introspection. Okay, but I think I'm pretty introspective. Okay. Can be self-promoting. Hello, I'm on YouTube. Can keep people at a safe distance. Okay, thoughts. I must be best at what I do. Yes. If I can't be outstanding, I won't bother. Must be efficient and effective. Yes. Emotions get in the way of performance. Yeah, I guess so. Focus on thinking and action. I can be anything I want to be. Yes, I do think that. You are worthy as long as you're successful and others think well of you. Okay, yeah, that's like a holdover from a youth when our grandpa would give us $5 for every A, and it was like a proxy for love. More on that in a different video. But feelings. I don't like dwelling in feelings for too long. They distract me from my goals. Feelings, sometimes I feel empty and depressed inside, but that doesn't linger. Important to me to feel successful. That's what it's all about. I feel worthy mostly when I am successful. True. Could have a fear of intimacy and vulnerability. Not really. Closeness with others would allow them to see that I am not as perfect as the image as I portray. Yeah, YouTube lets you edit, so. Justification lies. Life is about achieving and producing results. Portraying a good image helps me achieve results. Feelings are just a distraction and don't help anything. Impact on self and others. Peace and happiness is fleeting and short-lived in brief celebrations of achievement. Self-acceptance is continuously conditioned on the next success. I mean, yeah, I guess so. Lose touch with deeper feelings. Others might be pulled into the performance vortex of the achiever and can become similarly lopsided in their focus of external achievement. Great. So I bring people in and have them become hyperachievers too. Okay, so then he breaks down what the original survival function is for the hyperachiever. Self-validation, self-acceptance, and self-love are all conditioned on continual performance. It gets exhausting. This is often the result of either conditional or altogether absent validation from parental figures. Even with loving and approving parents, it's easy for children to get the sense that they are loved in return for achieving. I just told you the story of my grandpa for good manners, and oh my gosh, yes. Okay, I identify with 95% of this. So you get the idea. He's gonna go through and in rank order of most prominent saboteur to least prominent saboteur, it's going to list out all the different saboteurs and how maybe the decisions that I'm making in my life are colored by this hyperachiever saboteur. I 100% agree that maybe I do demand a lot out of myself and maybe in turn of others. But okay, so knowing that, I can be more aware of my intentions behind doing something. So yeah, okay, let's do one more. Next saboteur, controller. Anxiety-based need to take charge, control situations and people's actions to one's own will. High anxiety and impatience when that's not possible. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to learn to release control, but yeah. Okay, characteristics. Strong energy and need to control and take charge. Hello, do you not feel all this energy? Connect with others through competition, challenge, physicality, or conflict rather than softer emotions. Willful, confrontational, straight talker. Push people beyond comfort zone. I think I do that a lot as a coach. Comes alive when doing the impossible and beating the odds. I love to beat the odds. Stimulated by and connects through conflict, surprised that others get hurt, intimidate others, in-your-face communication interpreted by others as anger or criticism. Thoughts. You are either in control or out of control. If I work hard enough, I can and should control the situation as it goes my way. Others want and need me to take control. You are doing them a favor. No one tells me what to do. Feelings. High anxiety when things are not going my way. Angry and intimidating when others don't follow. Impatient with others. Feelings and different styles. Does feel hurt and rejected, although rarely admitted. Justification lies. Without the controller, you can't get much done. You need to push people. If I don't control, I will be controlled, and I can't live with that. I am trying to get the job done for all of our sakes. Oh, wow. There's a little bit of victim in that, right? Or martyr. Impact on others. The controller does get temporary results, but at the cost of other people's feelings. They get resentful. Okay, so what was the survival function? Underneath the bravado of a controller, hidden fear of being controlled by others' lives. Controller is sometimes associated with early experiences. Controller is sometimes associated with early life experiences where the child is forced to grow up fast. And take charge of its chaotic or dangerous surroundings in order to survive physically or emotionally. Also associated with being hurt, rejected, betrayed, and deciding to be never. Ooh, this one is, I feel red. It is also associated with being hurt, rejected, or being betrayed and deciding to never be that vulnerable again. Wow, I feel so red. Okay, so I want you to go through this whole exercise by yourself. Okay, so I've decided to actually go through all of my saboteurs um, and really expose my vulnerabilities, but hopefully it'll be in service of some new insights for you. Okay, Restless is one of the names of the saboteurs. And let's see, easily distracted, yes. Stays busy by juggling many different tasks, yes. Seeks excitement and variety, not comfort or safety. Yeah. Bounces, escapes from unpleasant feelings very quickly, seeks constant new stimulation, thoughts, this isn't fulfilling. This next thing has got to be more exciting. Oh my gosh, these negative feelings suck. I must shift my attention to something exciting. Why can't anyone keep up with me? Oh my god. Feelings. Impatience with what's happening right now, wondering what is next, fear of missing out. Oh my god. FOMO all the time. Restless and wanting more and more options, worried that the focus on any unpleasant feelings will grow and become overwhelming. Yeah. Justification lies. Life is too short. It must be lived fully. I don't want to miss out. Yeah. Underneath the surface of fun and excitement of the restless is an anxiety-based escape from being present to the moment's full experience, which might include dealing with unpleasant things. The restless avoids a real and lasting focus on the issues and relationships that truly matter. Others have a difficult time keeping up with the frenzy and chaos brought by the restless and unable to build anything sustainable around it. Let's see. This could be associated with early life experiences with inadequate parental nurturing or painful circumstances. Restless indulgence not only provided substitute self-nurturing, but also an escape from having to deal with anxiety and pain. Wow, let me just let that one sink in for a minute. The next one here is hyper-rational, intense and exclusive focus on rational processing of everything, including relationships. Can be perceived as cold, distant, and intellectually arrogant. I really hope that I am not perceived as cold or distant or intellectually arrogant, but maybe I can see why that last one might apply. Intense and active minds, sometimes coming across as intellectually arrogant or secretive, private and don't let many people into my deeper feelings, mostly show feelings through passion in ideas, prefer to just watch the craziness around me and analyze from a distance, can lose track of time due to my intense concentration. Yeah, that happens. It happens when I'm doing home renovation stuff. I can just really focus in on that and everything else becomes non-important. High penchant for skepticism and debate. The rational mind is where it is at. Feelings are distracting and irrelevant. I don't think so. I think I'm getting more in touch with my feelings. Many people are so irrational and sloppy in their thinking. Needs and emotions of others distract me from my projects. I need to shut out intrusions. What I value most is knowledge, understanding, and insight. Self-worth is attached to mastering knowledge and competence. Dude, this is so true because I want to become even more of an expert in this personal finance psychology realm, and maybe that's what I'm doing. Frustrated with others being emotional and not rational enough. I don't think I get frustrated with other people's emotions. Anxious about preserving personal time, energy, resources against intrusions, feeling different, alone, and not understood. That's not true, at least not for me. Often skeptical or cynical. I think I've done a good job of tempering that tendency of mine, but justification lies. The rational mind is the most important thing. It should be protected from the wasteful intrusion of people's messy emotions and needs. Ooh. This comes up for me in my coaching. I've been coached this from my coach, and yeah, I need to work on this. This is like part of my growth as a coach, is to allow space and time for people's messy emotions. Limits the depth and flexibility of relationships and life by analyzing rather than experiencing feelings. Intimidates less analytically intense people. Let's see. It's probably coming from a survival strategy from early childhood to what? I'm trying now not to be the smartest person in the room. I think I let other people do that because I understand that for myself, like, pleaser. Are you a pleaser? Okay, indirectly tries to gain acceptance and affection by helping, pleasing, rescuing, and flattering others. Loses sight of own needs and becomes resentful as a result. Okay, maybe like an older version of me was more of a pleaser. I can see why this is right like in the middle though, as I got a 5.6 on it out of 10. I do have a strong need to be liked by people. And I am trying to earn it right now by helping and rescuing people and flattering them. Okay, I'm not doing the flattering part through YouTube, but I'm definitely trying to help and please. And maybe rescue, depending on who's watching. Needs frequent reassurance by others about their acceptance and affection. Can't express own needs openly and directly. Okay, that's not true. I've gotten really good about expressing openly what my needs are. Just ask the people I've dated. Does so indirectly by having people feel obligated to reciprocate care. Not so much anymore. Okay, thoughts. To be a good person, I should put the needs of others ahead of my own. Okay, I can see where this comes from because I am Filipino American, and in Filipino, or maybe just like Asian cultures in general, there's this prioritization of like the collective family unit is more important than the individual. And so the needs of others come before your own, which is nice, but can also become like a handicap. It can become problematic when I stop thinking about myself. And what it does is it potentially sets up a precedent to become codependent in that I need to please you so that you are pleased. And then when you are pleased and happy, then I can be happy. Feelings, expressing own needs directly feels selfish, worried that insisting on my own needs might drive others away. Resentful for being taken, oh my God, worried that insisting my own needs may drive others away. Okay, so I want to have kids, and on my dating profile, I say that I want to have kids. And it took me a long time to change it from like open to having kids to no, for sure I want to have kids, because that's like a need or a want for me. And I thought that if I didn't put in like more flexibility around it, that it would narrow the pool of available people that I could date. And I don't feel weird at all about putting that I want to have children on my profile. And I guess that's part of my growth, right? Like I feel secure today expressing that need and that want publicly because I know it does matter to me. Ultimately, like I do want to find a partner that wants to have kids. So part of like my living authentically is requiring me to be secure enough to put that out there, maybe run the risk of like not finding that person at all. But then I get to like express my individuality. Justification lies. I don't do this for myself. I will help others selflessly, and the world would be a better place if everyone did the same. impact on self can jeopardize taking care of one's own needs, including emotional, physical, financial. I'm shaking my head because, yes, how many times have you put someone else's needs before yours? I know I've done that, and it comes at a cost. Can lead to resentment and burnout, for sure. Others can develop dependence rather than learn to take care of themselves. Like I said, other people learn to just like depend on you. And what ends up happening, or what could potentially happen, is that you continue to do things because you feel obligated, or you feel guilty or manipulated. The original survival function is this is an indirect attempt to have one's emotional needs met. It is fed by two original assumptions that are picked up in childhood. One, I must put others' needs ahead of my own. I just said my example of my culture. Two, I must give love and affection in order to get Annie back. I must earn it, and I am simply not worthy of it. Ooh, that last one. I think it's time for a tea break. Okay, the next one here is victim. Emotional and temperamental as a way to gain attention and affection, an extreme focus on internal feelings, particularly painful ones. Murder streak. Characteristics. If criticized or misunderstood, tend to withdraw, pout, and sulk. I've done that. Withdrawing is a response of mine. Fairly dramatic and temperamental. When things get tough, want to crumble and give up. No, not anymore. Repressed rage results in depression, apathy, and constant fatigue. This was an older version of me. Okay, let's be vulnerable here. I was in a long-term relationship for 8 years, and there were times in that relationship where I was so unhappy and I played the victim. And what ended up happening is that relationship ended in divorce, but it ended up being like one of the best things that could have ever happened to me, because it's put me on this journey to be a lot more self-reflective, conscious of like my behavior and how I show up in the world. So, I can't label that as like a bad thing. In the moment, maybe it felt bad, but with some distance, now I can look at that and be like, oh, that was like actually essential to my growth as like a person. Repressed rage results in depression, apathy, constant fatigue. I was depressed. Unconsciously attached to having difficulties. Maybe get attention by having emotional problems or being temperamental and sullen. Thoughts. No one understands me. Poor me. Terrible things always happen to me. I might be uniquely disadvantaged or flawed. I am what I feel. I wish someone would rescue me from this dreary mess. Oh my God. The rescuing part. I mean, I think of the situations I've gotten myself in when I'm dating folks, and I'm like, I want this person to rescue me. And I am conscious of that now, that I don't need to be rescued. I am perfectly capable of taking care of myself. But I forgot about that. Feelings. Tend to brood over negative feelings for a long time. I think I'm getting better at that. Feel alone and lonely even when I'm around people I am close to. I don't feel that way anymore. Feelings of melancholy and abandonment. Sometimes. Envy and negative comparisons all the time. Most of the time. Justification lies, maybe this way I get some of the love and attention that I deserve. Sadness is a noble and sophisticated thing that shows exceptional depth, insight, and sensitivity. I don't know why, but that like really reminded me of like an image of like a brooding poet, wears all black, like Jack Kerouac style. Impact on self and others. Vitality wasted through focus on internal processing and brooding backfires by pushing people away. Others feel frustrated, helpless, or guilty that they can't put more than a temporary band-aid on the victim's pain. The victim is sometimes associated with a childhood experience of not feeling seen and accepted. I raise my eyebrows because it's touching upon something in my history, coming to believe that something is especially wrong with you. Oof. Victim is a strategy to squeeze out some of the affection from those who would otherwise not be paying attention. The moods mimic a false sense of aliveness. Dude, like when I get to the part where it says the original survival function, I just flash back to an image of me as a child screaming, "Nobody loves me!" Oh my God. Okay, we have to move on. The next one, Stickler. Perfectionism and a need for order, organization taken to highly critical, can be irritable, tense, opinionated, sarcastic all the time. Strong need for self-control and self-restraint, works overtime to make up for others' sloppiness and laziness, is highly sensitive to criticism. Oh my God. Like if you want to get at me, come for me with your feedback. But I know that if I want to grow and become better, I have to find a way to receive feedback, take what I need from it, and leave the rest. And know that like I am a naturally creative, resourceful, and whole person, and I will figure out how to make whatever it is that I'm doing better, but that if I didn't get it right on that first time, or if someone is giving me negative criticism, that I am secure enough within myself to know that I don't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to get out there. Kind of like this video. I spent hours editing to try to make it perfect. And in the end, all I really want to do is just like convey this message. So yes, my stickler is alive and well, and maybe it's because this is like new for me and I don't have like a degree of like comfort with it yet. That's like second nature. And so as like a way to feel better about it, I'm trying to control and make it perfect. Oh my God, that just came to me. Okay, I'll keep going. Thoughts. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I know the right way. If you can't do it perfectly, don't do it at all. Others too often have lax standards. I need to be more organized and methodical than others so things get done. I hate mistakes. Feelings. Constant frustration and disappointment with self and others for not living up to ideal standards. Oh my gosh. I say oh my gosh because I think of my previous relationships. Constant frustration and disappointment with self and others for not living up to ideal standards. I have really high standards for myself, and I know that I push that on some people, but I have awareness around it, and I think today I'm like more compassionate. And because I'm more compassionate with other people, it then allows me to become more compassionate with myself. Yeah, that's one of the things I've learned. Sarcastic or self-righteous overtones, suppressed anger and frustration. Justification lies. This is a personal obligation. It's up to me to fix whatever mess I encounter. Oh my God, the fixer. I'm trying to fix everybody. That's the thing I'm working on in my coaching, is like, I'm not here to fix anybody. People are naturally creative and resourceful, and they're whole, and they're gonna come up with the best solutions for them because they are the experts in their lives. And I have to get that into my head. There's usually a clear right and clear wrong way to do things. I know how things should be done and must do the right thing. Impact on self and others. Causes rigidity, reduces flexibility in dealing with change in others, different styles, is a source of ongoing anxiety and frustration, causes resentment, anxiety, self-doubt, resignation in others who feel continually criticized and resign themselves that no matter how hard they work, they will never please the stickler. It's true, okay? Original survival function. It is a way of quieting that constant voice of self-judgment and fear of others' judgments. or I do that by trying to be perfect. If you do what is right, if you do what is right, you will be beyond interference and reproach by others. Perfection and order brings sense of temporary relief, might have generated a sense of order in the middle of a chaotic family dynamic, or earned acceptance and attention from emotionally distant or demanding parents by standing out as the unreproachable perfect kid. Oh my god. Add that last sentence to the one about pleaser. That's how I survived childhood. Let me read that again. Might have generated a sense of order in the middle of a chaotic family dynamic. Who didn't have a chaotic family dynamic? Earned acceptance and attention. Dude, I literally was that. I was the perfect grandson, perfect nephew, hyper-vigilant, continuous, intense anxiety about all the dangers and what could go wrong, vigilance that can never rest, characteristics, always anxious with chronic doubts about self and others, extraordinary sensitivity to danger signals, constant expectation of mishap or danger, suspicious of what others are up to. What are they doing over there? Might seek reassurance and guidance in procedures, rules, authority, institutions. I find myself more of like a rule breaker, but when is the other shoe going to drop? If I make a mistake, I fear everyone is going to jump down my throat. I want to trust people, but I find myself suspicious of their motives. I need to know what their rules are, although I might not always follow them. Oh my gosh, I just said that. Feelings, skeptical, even cynical, often anxious and highly vigilant. Justification lies. Life is full of dangers. If I don't look out for them, who will? Impact on others. This is a hard way to live. The constant anxiety burns a great deal of vital energy that could otherwise be put to great use. Yeah, I guess I think about clients who are so scared that they'll get it wrong that they just don't do anything at all. And I can see why this one's lower. This one's the second to last one for me, because I'm like let's give it a shot and see how it goes, and we'll figure it out when we hit a roadblock mentality. So, but maybe I could become a little bit more vigilant. The hypervigilant often comes from early experiences where the source of safety and security, usually a parental figure, was unpredictable and unreliable. It could also result when painful, unexpected events proved life to be threatening or unreliable. Okay, we're almost at the end. Avoider, focusing on the positive and pleasant in an extreme way, avoiding difficult, unpleasant tasks and conflicts. Characteristics, avoids conflicts and says yes. Characteristics, avoids conflict and says yes to things one wouldn't want. Downplays importance of real problems and tries to deflect others. Has difficulty saying no. Resists others through passive-aggressive means rather than directly. Loses self in comforting routines and habits. Procrastinates on unpleasant tasks. This is just too unpleasant. Maybe if I let go, it will take care of itself. If I deal with this now, I will hurt her feelings. I'd rather not. If I go into conflict with others, I might lose connection with them. I have found balance. I don't want to mess with it. I'd rather give someone else their way than create a scene. I don't know about that. I've been known to create a scene in my older days or my younger days. Feelings. Even keel. Anxiety about what has been avoided or procrastinated. Fear about hard-won peace of mind being interrupted. 4, suppressed anger and resentment rather than expressed anger. Justification lies. You are a good person to spare others' feelings. No good comes out of conflict. It is good to be flexible. Someone needs to be the peacemaker. Impact on self and others. Denying the conflicts and negativities that do exist prevents one from actually working with them and turning them into gifts. I believe that, but I don't believe it's necessarily true for me, which would make sense because it's the last one. But I do believe that this is present in a lot of people. Conflicts that people avoid despite them probably being necessary to go through in order to come out on the other side with something that's more workable or more in alignment with their values. Feeling numb to pain is different than knowing how to harvest the wisdom and power of pain. What is avoided doesn't go away and festers. Relationships are kept superficial through conflict avoidance. Others' trust level is reduced as they are not sure when negative information is being withheld. Ooh, okay. So yeah, this is one of my things when I am meeting someone new. I want to like kind of witness in response to something negative to kind of gauge like, is this person able to trust me enough to feel that they can like truly express like negative emotion, or do they need to make it more palatable for me? The original survival function, avoider could rise from both happy and difficult childhoods. In a happy childhood, one might not have learned the resiliency of dealing with difficult emotions. In a childhood of high conflict and tension, the avoider might come into play as the peacemaker so as not to add to negativity and tension. All right, wow, okay. We went through all of them, and I related with at least parts of most of those. I'm walking away with this with tremendous insight. I'm going to work on another video where we can talk about, okay, now what do we do once we've identified the saboteurs? We'll talk about that in another video, but I think there's like a lot of key learning that can happen in just being able to identify them and being able to relate to them and being able to name them. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of the video and listening to me talk about all of my different saboteurs. I hope that you learned something in the process. If you could just give me a subscribe and a like and hit that notification bell so that you get updated when new content is uploaded, that would help so much. Thank you for being here and be good to yourself.